maybe didn't study in your 6 packets. Okay, next week we have your next one that will be reviewed. Kevin, you want to come on up? You ready to go? Yes, sir. Josh. I'm sorry?
Right here.
I can't hear you.
All right, mine said military enlisted and law enforcement officer. I had no intention of going to the armed forces.
What did I say to you guys? You may not want to go into the armed forces. You want to know now?
Yeah, I got that.
You can't say that. That's going to be in your face. When you get ready to turn it on, you just let me know and I'll push it down. Kevin is a... Go ahead. I'm sorry. Kenneth is a former, well, he is a vet, right? What branch were you in? Marine. All right. So he's going to share with you some ideas today and talk with you about a few things. And I'm going to turn the floor over to him. Let's give him, he's a student here at PCC and a member of our Veterans Services, right?
Yes.
So, first, we thank you for your service. Okay. And I'll let you go ahead and take it from here.
I am the master race. I am the master race, just look at me now. With no flaws to these walls surrounding us now, no bend in my curve, no pause in my swerve, no impediment in my speech, no fault in my teach, and certainly no boundaries to my reach. I am the master race. I am African. No, I am not lazy, nor am I stupid. I am the continent of origin. I am America's wealth. I am the master race. I am Mexican. And no, I'm not taking a siesta, but you are, and what is wrong with it? I am complete protein in my rice and beans, and don't forget your veggies. I'm the master race. I am Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, Burmese, and Lao, etc. And no, I'm not yellow. And I don't have a math book in my hand. I am the contribution to sacrifice in every nation's success. I am the seed of holistic medicine. I am the master race. I am native to America. And I am Indian of the East. I am not savage, nor was I ever. I am spirit to the simplicity of the earth. I am meditation and practice to your relaxation. I am the master race. Ja jestem Polakiem. Yes, that is Polish. And no, I am not the P word, which is just as derisive as the N word, or any other epithet one may dare to bear, words to keep a people down. I am art and profound. I am the master race. I am human. I am the human race. And only all minds together in the eclectic embrace is the only way we to finish race. Thank you. Before I expound a bit about what it is that I read and the reason I like to do what I do, I would like a kind of couple sentiments or, of how you interacted at first and maybe in between. So, anybody?
That was actually very touching. Like, I didn't expect you to say anything like that. Some of that stuff was like, wow, kind of agreed with what you were saying. So it was very, it kept me interested.
Thank you.
Did anybody think at first, like, oh, she's about to go white supremacist?
I saw the faces change really quickly.
Other thoughts?
Yeah, I thought you were just gonna just go off on the government. That's the way you just came with that. I thought you were just bash the government and the army.
Yeah, yeah. It could be a good observation. I mean, anybody that comes across, with kind of like a power or power hungry or superfluous thoughts and ideas. Yes.
Another comment in the back?
I was just going to say I appreciated bringing together all the races or so-called races as just being part of the human rights.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
It reminded me of this poem called Eagle Trip by Nikki Giovanni, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Is that a song?
Well,
Also?
there's like, they have this thing on YouTube where they kind of make it into a song, but it's like
Nice.
a poem.
Yeah, I haven't heard it, but so I'm not plagiarizing. Can I speak freely?
Of course, this is, yep.
Okay, I like to fuck around with people, so, and I say that in a way where I like to, you know, kind of like go somewhere where people think, you know, you might be or what you are. And what I did here is I purposely wrote this poem to try to get people in tune, whoever is this way, that they would judge quickly. You know, there are some people that they're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to slow down a little bit and see what the hell this, you know, possibly white bastard supremacist might be saying or something, which is probably a way that people may think, you know, but people who know me, chomps, this is my camera person, my cameraman, you know, people who really know you, they really know you, and they know not to say, are you Aaron, or, you know, because people have approached me, and the reason why I wrote this, another reason is because people have asked me about my person because of how I look, which is quite detestable to me. So I would just tell them, I'd just say, oh, don't you know, I'm African. And so, you know, I just, because I hate ignorance, and for people to be presumptuous about who I am and like how I look, ignorance just bothers me to all hell. So anyways, I'm United States Marine Corporal. I could have died for all of your rights, which would be an honor, because I mean, like Ujima, it's a practice of culture, and you know, to give back to society that which you attained through your mentors and people who love you, who don't even know you, and they're going to give you love. And it is great love when people try to esteem you to the highest places that you could possibly go when you're here on this earth, and it's to be much appreciated. So with that, I would like to go for explain to you about a little bit more about what I do, what I almost do.
Which one is it? This
I
one?
would like the first,
This one?
yes, please. What I almost do, I'm a poet and an artist, so say the people, and I've suffered a very severe trauma that has lasted over 10 years, and in a way, I'm a person who is speaking before you as a ghost, as a person who is murdered, a person who wants to live again, and so I express myself through art, poetry, thinking that I may never have a chance, you know, in the world again to be a professional, say, to be somebody who I am, and to give to civility. So this right here is called, it's an installation called Resurrected Love Reformation, where I'm doing Tai Chi, and the people picking these hearts right here, they are reclaiming their love. In other words, giving themselves another chance, you know, to love again and to trust again, which is the more important aspect of love. This is Murder Truth here with his eyeballs popping out. And we have the Marine Corporal's Turtles and Peace paint, which is part of what I want to do, is I want to bring civility to every and any part of the earth that it can possibly go to. And that civility may be that I share some kind of love with one person and they share it with 100 people who knows, you know, where your love, the seed, and I'm not talking about, hey, you know, what's up, you know, just the common, you know, greetings and stuff like that. I'm talking about, you know, like Chomps here is a muralist and an artist. And we, you know, sometimes we sit and talk like, we ain't gonna go nowhere, you know, we're just freaking dreaming in this big, fucked up world that there's no opportunities, there's no this and that, you know. We're just hoping, like how I'm saying, I'm just hoping to live. So in our hope to live, all we can do is be the best and be everything that we are. And if it isn't who we are, it's who we are becoming, you know. Because sometimes you might have like a whole, and I'm not saying this specifically to Ujima because I'm pretty sure most or all of the students here in Ujima are kind of like learned, if you will, like kind of like, you know, that there's racism in every different culture. It's not just in one, you know, set of people, you know. So I'm sure, I'm thinking that I'm sure about this in this people, you know, in Ujima, you know, and people who are learned, people who are getting, you know, acculturated not only to your own culture, but to many cultures, you know, in this setting. So, how I got started in art, and the trauma that I have been subjected to or gone through, I become quite destructive. And by quite destructive, I'm talking about the darkest or, you know, the most vile thing a person can do to oneself in destruction. And so through therapy, I have been able to get guidance to portray myself in artwork. And I didn't think, you know, that I was going to ever be able to share it. But I do love sharing it because I believe that a soul, one soul, is embedded into an eclectic soul, if you will, like all of our souls, maybe a universal soul. And so a lot of people ask me, well, why all the hearts? You know, and they espouse things or my colors and stuff like that. I have a female friend that calls me Tutti Frutti. So that is funny one. Especially I tell her, well, as soon as I figure out how to find a girlfriend, I'm going to have her call your ass and tell you how Tutti Frutti I am. But until that time, she gets away with it. But the hearts are, they're the aspect of one not losing their self to the adversity that is trying to pull them apart and destroy them, and to remain the entity of love, which, you know, which they are, if in fact that be the entity that one is, which myself, I see myself to be that entity. So, and from here, all I'm going to do is, if anybody has any questions, or because I'm not a professional yet, I filmed an art show over here in C333 last Thursday, April 28th, and I have my art right now in C102, which is a display that you could probably look at sometime before 1 o'clock if professors and you know, the advisors and stuff aren't walking around. You can sneak in there and look at people's work and stuff like that. But so I'm gonna relinquish the class to you if you have any questions. And
Yeah.
I just want to add to what you were saying about how in every culture there's racism, and say that it's prejudice that every culture has, but racism only people with power can have.
okay, that's a very good point. And so I still don't have that power either. So I'm hearing. That's a poignant observation.
I noticed all the colors that you use. They're like more bright colors. What's that about?
I love the way patterns interact with people, and I like to see myself as a diverse person, or not even that I like to see myself as a diverse person, but just what you see, that's what it is, you know, like it's very diverse. And I mean, this is ghost love, you know, that's kind of like dark art, I guess. A lot of people say a lot of my art is dark, but it comes from depression. So I think, but I think it's still beautiful. The colors is just, I think most of all, it's wanting to hope back to life. So.
Kenneth, these are beautiful.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you.
all
I
I
mean,
was
it's
looking
really
at.
phenomenal work.
Thank you.
I had no idea. Yes.
Do you like sell your art pieces, or do you keep all of your art pieces?
I have all my originals. I'm hoping someday to find some benefactor who will buy. I copyrighted over 294, and I have probably about 330, 350 now all together, and hoping some benefactor will buy them all from me for about maybe $3 million or $15 million with copyrights, because I mean a lot of people tell me that things could be really used and sold commercially and stuff like that. Though they're therapeutic, you know, for me therapy.
What type of medium do you use?
I use various mediums, but mostly pen and ink. I use marker, different things like that, and I don't know if I have many in here or any in here that are rip art. I don't think I do, unfortunately. One of my biggest mediums is ripped magazines, and I put things together. I'm sorry I don't have any in here. This is more or less painting, and this is all pen and ink. Most all these that look like this, these are taken like, most all these take over 100 hours.
Yeah, I was going to ask how long do they each?
Like this, over 100 hours, over 100 hours, over 100 hours. It's all pen or marker, so you make like one line, and you make another line, etc. So,
Making lines, huh?
you know,
Awesome.
so, Sheree, did you?
Do you have like a story behind each piece?
Well, I do. I typically what I do is for each piece, I may have a collaborative poem like Love Triumphant. I have 3 of them, and there's 3 collaborative writings or poetry for some of them. Love Struck is just, you know, my fantasy that I will be. Love Triumphant, this right here is just like about this hand coming in here to try to destroy love. It's about all the adversity. You have sharp points and smooth points. And this is Love Star, right? It's just like, you know, reach for the stars, you know, with your love, and kind of, I use a lot of superfluous words in that poem where you'd have to get to the dictionary to appreciate it. Yes.
Do you just start like, do you think over it before you do it, or do you just
Not
do
typically.
it?
I just do it. There are some contrived pieces that I've done. Very few, like maybe about, I don't know, 3 or 5. But most of these, it's just I start right here, and I just start drawing, and at the end, it's finished. This one right here, I just more or less, I just started doing, it's just all the same thing, but in the little different squares.
Derek?
What inspired you to do Ghost Love? Because I really like that.
The Ghost Love
That's very cool.
is just the feeling of being destroyed and death, and being like really super overwhelmed. And there's a thing like, you know, even though you might be destroyed, somebody might, I mean, I hate to go here, but in a way, somebody might kill you or really fuck you up in a way where they destroy your person. And the entity of you, everything that you've given to your family members, your closest friends, be that some of these I would take are probably some of your friends or closest friends, and closest friends that you just hang with. Everything that you've given, even if somebody destroys you, it could be in numerous ways that they can, destroy you. Not to say that you can't prove yourself someday, or even if you're dead physically, that somebody could not prove, oh, this was like my, one of the persons that I look up to is in African American culture, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the doctor. People try to say, oh, well, he was, I'm just going to say like a slut, sleeping around or whatever. Personally, I don't care if he was. Everybody needs love, and I think, it's a common natural thing. And, I don't think he did too much of a disservice. That's a very heavy burden, what he did for not only the United States. He did, he touched probably every nation some way or another, and that's what I love about him. And so what I'm saying, he died a sacrifice like Jesus. And yet his love is still us. So.
Amazing. Marley, and then
Are there any artists that inspire you?
Artists who inspire me. I try. I hate learning about art. I hate having other influence coming into my direction, or as I call it, tainting my self. And that sounds like a very negative, but I have so much in me as a person that I have all kind of ideas and things that I want to do, and I just want to learn by my own mistakes and present it. Not to say that I don't admire and love, and I love the aesthetic. I love primarily the human aesthetic. I'm not afraid to say that a man is handsome, and certainly Chomps makes jokes about that shit. But, I let him get away with it. But and especially the fairer sex women, being, I think, more pleasantly aesthetic than we men. But that might be my bias. So, yes. Here.
I was wondering, do you listen to any music
yeah, I love music. I'm very diverse. I love Beethoven, the classics. I love rock, hip hop, rap. I love just all kind of international music, cultural, etc. Maybe we go back here. Was there a question back here? No? Okay.
I see that you put so much time and effort into it. Like, how does it make you feel? Like, when you're finished with everything, how do you feel?
Well, it's like a mirror, but it's not only my mirror, it's a mirror for anybody who's of the same, I'm going to say the same venue, or anybody that is the same spirit. But for me personally, it's a mirror. And even the one I did for Ida, she's a wonderful soul. I honored her in the April 28th show. You've seen Ida in there and stuff. I don't know where it is right now. It's bouncing in there somewhere. But I just see a reflection of who I am and who I want to continue to be, and that I don't want to be murdered physically by the adversity. I don't want to capitulate myself to that entity of evil and destruction, but rather face it front on, sober, and defeat it with what is love. What is love is a parallel to truth, and it can't be separated from truth. And there's a lot of intricacies of love that is just forever prevailing over anything that anybody could do evil to you. And that is up to you then to either assume that nature or capitulate to the nature of evil. I'm just going to put it in that way.
We talked about this yesterday, didn't we, in club? This idea of letting go of your ego, and instead of responding with anger and destruction, to respond with love. That's the bigger, most important learning piece. It's easy to respond with destruction. One more question, Sheree.
That one that you have with those 3 hands.
I like the hands a lot.
Yeah, the one in the middle, did you make that with pen or what material is that?
These hands are, this is one of my, one of maybe 3 Photoshop pieces. And the hands are simple, non-copyrighted hands that are just like one of our instructors gave us. And what I did is, this is to give you, I'm going to give you guys one of my secrets. Too hard. But all this basically is textures from Photoshop, and you kind of like highlight it, cut and paste it in. And I call this my hand, your hand, and a helping hand. So all this was just done like in Painter or Photoshop and kind of simulated. And I think some of my art pieces, I like the titles better, my hand, your hand, or a helping hand, because it's my stimulation. But the art is stimulating to me too. But in the art, you just have to guess which hand or decide which hand is yours. You know, is your hand the helping hand? Is it my hand or your hand? So is it the giving? Is it the receiving? Or is it, you know, a helping hand maybe between 2 people or however it may be? So.
Man, I'm like pretty moved. It's pretty phenomenal stuff, isn't it? Rebecca, I'm just curious, I want to put you on the spot, but do you have any thoughts at all?
Yeah, I was moved by the entire, everything that he brought to us, and I just felt like by the being that he is. His name was Kenneth. Right?
Kenneth, yes. And yours? Ameka, nice.
Yeah, I really like the idea that you wrote a poem for this group to share in specific thought of this group.
I basically wrote it before, and I won a first place in the slam, which I don't orate too good, but I know that this poem would be so moving, you know, in a different way. I thought, you know, was my thought.
Well, I'm really grateful. I know I am. So I guess we just want to say thank you very much. I'm sure you'll have some people that want to. For being so honest and sharing so much of your heart with us, because I really felt your honesty and so much truth and so much love, which is expressed obviously in your art, but also in the way that you share openly with people. And I know you guys can relate to some of the challenges that he talked about. And that's what I remember. I've always said Ujima is a Band-Aid, right? It's because every human being feels these challenges. Every human being does. And people look at you and they assume a lot about you. They assume you're lazy. They assume you're, you know, Asian with the math book in your hand. They assume a lot of things that are just not true. People don't think that you look at somebody who's white and assume that he's a white supremacist, but I know that's what some of y'all was assuming right when you started. You're like, well, that's a Hensley done, right?
I was thinking that they was like, oh, they done messed up another motherfucking reason.
And I'm sure that that's initially, in the first moments, that's why I asked, because I know that's what some people were thinking, right? So we do assume, even though we're sometimes we are the object of people's assumptions, we also put our assumptions on the world, don't we? And so I know I've been enlightened today, and I just want to thank you, Kenneth, for your honesty and your love. And thank you again for your service. So that's it for today. I'll let you guys say goodbye to Kenneth. I'm sure some of you want to chat with him a bit. Everybody have a great weekend.
The art,